All right, this is going to be another rant. This is going to be about Daniel Vogelbach, and I'm going to get into him a little bit. I want to thank all the new people that have come in onto the channel in the last 24 hours. Got a tremendous response to the last video. Just going detail by detail of this team. Obviously, they are not a good team right now. But there's no reason to sort of fire the manager. There's no reason to fire the general manager. That does not look good from an outsider's perspective. If you were to fire the manager, that is 6 managers since 2017. If you fire the general manager, that is 6 general managers since 2017 and 4 general managers in 2 years. You cannot do that. All right? They won 101 games. So they didn't like forget how to put a team together. They didn't forget about how to do certain things. So I'm giving them a pass at the moment. And I'm going to focus in on the players, which I have done, which I did in the previous video. I'll put the link in if you haven't watched it and if this is your first video. Like I was saying yesterday, my former channel, the Comic Book Hut, I could be mean. And probably a little overbearing at times. But this is a different situation here. I've been very kind to the New York Mets. I've been very honest about how they've played. And I've not been one to jump ship. And I'm not jumping ship at all at this point. But there are players on this team that cannot stay on this team any longer. They have to go. The first one that has to go is Daniel Vogelbach. And I said this in the previous video, and I did it in a short. I just edited it. I also did something on the Baseball Hut too. Same comment with a little clip that I had of Marcana. Daniel Vogelbach is not a winning player. He's a loser. And as long as he is on this team, he is dragging the overall flow of this team. I know they brought him in last year. They needed help with the DH spot. He helped a little bit, but they need him to go. He cannot stay here. The same reason that Dom Smith was a problem. He was a losing player too. But at least he had 50 games in 2020 where he was really good. But Vogelbach has never been good. He had that 1 year of 30 home runs. He's got 69 home runs in his career, 30 of which was a few years ago with the Mariners. Aside from that, he's had 39 home runs in the course of 8 years. That's pathetic. And 18 home runs last year. His role is to hit home runs. His role is to drive the ball out of the ballpark. He's hit 2 home runs. After he made that base running mistake in the first inning, he had a home run later in the game, and it didn't mean anything. That's what a losing player does. Okay? They do well after the fact. I watched this play. I was not home yesterday to watch the game. At least the beginning part of the game. So I did not watch the first thing. I watched this play in just a little while ago, and I saw what Vogelbach did. Obviously, there was 2 outs. Vogelbach was on first. Brett Beatty, I guess, was on second. And Guillorme hit a single. Brett Beatty was trying to score from second. Vogelbach went from first to second. He was not even 10 feet off the base when Chris Bryant threw behind him. He wasn't 10 feet away. He might have been less than 5 feet away. Maybe even less than that. And he got thrown out, got picked off at second. The guy can't move on the field. The guy can't run from first to second without there being a problem. That is a losing player. Now you're going to say, well, you're saying something bad about how he looks. Look at you. That doesn't matter. Who threw out the first pitch in yesterday's game before the game started? Bartolo Colon. Anyone that watched him, he was a winning player. He's a winning pitcher. Everything he did was to help the Mets win. He was a big part of that pennant-winning team. He was a big part of this Mets team for 3 years. And I felt that the Mets always had a chance to win when he took them out. He might have had bad games, and he had bad games. We remember that game in 2014, a couple of bad games in 2014 against the Mariners and against the Angels. And he had a couple of interesting sort of back and forth with Alex Rodriguez, where he got hit pretty hard. But he was a winning player. He made the Mets a better team. He did everything in his power to put the Mets in a position to win. He had a winning record with the Mets. Okay, and he was an older player. He was over 40 years old. Vogelbach is 30 years old. He has a wins above replacement over his career of 1.8, meaning he has been on the positive with one major league game. And he's been a major league player for 8 years. That's not a winning player. That's a loser. That's a losing player. Again, he's got 2 home runs. This is a team that needs guys to hit the ball out of the ballpark. The reason they made the trade last year for him was that he would hit the ball out of the ballpark. He did okay last year. I did not take issue with what he did last year. But he has to hit the ball out of the ballpark. And if he doesn't do that, he's useless. He's about as useless as it can possibly get as a player. He cannot be on this team. He has to get moved. Trade him, release him, send him off, send him back to the circus, get him the hell out of here. He cannot stay on this team. He has to get the hell. He has to go. Goodbye. So long. Farewell. Skadoosh. He cannot stay here. Under any circumstances. Okay? He cannot run. He cannot play the field. And if he's not hitting for any kind of power, any significant power in big spots, he's useless. And again, he hit a home run late in the game after the game was out of hand. And he cost the Mets a run in the first inning. Beatty should not have had a problem scoring from second base. Okay? And even if, and here's the thing, Vogelbach said, well, he misjudged it. You're an idiot. Because you should know, and everybody in the ballpark knows, you can't run. So if you can't run, then why are you trying to pretend to go to third? And there's 2 outs. And here's the weird thing. If he knew he was going to get thrown out, just go to third. You dope. What are you going back to second? Just keep running. You cost the Mets a run. And then after the game, he's got the nerve to say, well, if I didn't have that happen, we maybe would have won the game. You shouldn't have put yourself in that position. Again, that is a losing play and a loser of a player. I hate to be mean. And it's nothing personal. I don't know him. I don't really care. I don't care to know anything about the players. Okay, I want to see the Mets win. That's the most important thing to me. This guy cost them a run in the first inning. This is a team that has struggled to score in the first inning this year. He cost the Mets a run. They had 3 runs on the board after being down a run in the first inning. They got 3 runs in. They could have had a 4th run, but because of his stupidity on the bases, he got thrown out. That's not fair to Guillorme, who could barely hit himself, and he cost him a run batted in. He cost Brett Beatty from scoring a run on his ledger, and he hurt the Mets. He hurt the team. Now, obviously, with the Mets pitching in shambles right now, especially the starting pitching, they probably would have lost the game anyway. But that's not the point. The Mets have to win games. Now, people say, well, this is not how you win a championship. It's not about winning a championship right now. Because they've played poorly enough that they have to get themselves righted. And you cannot have this guy, this black cloud hanging over this team. Okay? He is not, again, I'll say this again, he's not Bartolo Colon. So anybody comparing him, including the announcers, get that out of your heads. He is not Bart. He's not Bart. Okay? This guy is not a winning player. And I've seen enough of him now. I want him off the Mets right now. Hopefully they'll listen. Hopefully somebody will get this video out to them. He cannot be on this team. He's a loser. I hate to be mean. I hate to be like this, but it's true. It's all true. That's all I really have to say. At right now, the Mets have an off day. I'm going to keep an eye on Scherzer. There might be an issue with him physically again. We'll keep an eye on him. He pitches on Tuesday, and Verlander pitches on Wednesday. And, they have these bad teams to play against, but they're a bad team right now, too. So they have to wake up and get this thing rolling. And they got a monster next week to deal with. So thank you for watching this video. As the sirens go off, you can tell I'm in the city. Got the window open today. It's such a beautiful day here in New York. And the birds are chirping. You might hear some birds outside, too. But I appreciate you watching the videos. Of course, keep subscribing. Subscribe. Hit the bell for notification. Thank you, and have a good day, and I'll see you later.